Hey, I hope you're ready for an exciting and terrible run. Similar to my last video, this is a post-commentary track. Between the time of recording the run and the recording of this commentary, I have routed a few new backups, easier backups, faster backups, as well as I've sank quite a bit of time into just a couple of the late levels, as you will most likely be able to figure out watching this video. That being said, I do hope you enjoyed this run of Mekazoo, and if you don't, well, you know, it's your choice. That's your life, not mine. I won't judge. I do hope you at least enjoy this banger of a soundtrack, though. Welcome to Mekazoo. We're going to be doing the NA% run today, which requires us to beat the game with 50 medals. So right away, we're introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog here. You just kind of... It's kind of an... Well, what's the word? It's a quick time event, but not really. Interactive cutscene, I guess, is more accurate for this first part. We just saw a frog jump down here, and now we're going to hop into our very first level. Just as a commentary standpoint, you might want to keep an eye on this level. So anything that's red, like that, does damage you. That does come into play later on in the run as it becomes more and more frequent, I guess is the word I'd say, in the levels, making the levels a little more difficult, which you'll definitely see. This run is so bad. I say the run is bad. It's not bad until, like, World 4. But we're just going through the level here. Missed that spot there. So you can actually launch off the ramp into that second circle thing. So you don't have to go up the ramp and all that fun stuff. On rails part going through the circuitry here. Like I mentioned, the red is damaging, so even though this is technically circuitry, it is blue, so it is safe. Just like that's green, so that's green and black, safe. Gonna follow down the gears here. This yellow part that I'm on is actually a little speed boost, because the track is technically moving to the right. So at that bomb, you can actually launch over the ramp and hit the bomb before hitting the ground to launch up, which saves a couple seconds because you can just hit the bomb and fall right down. We're just kind of boosting through here. We're going to get into this cannon, and we're going to get a small cutscene here. And it's our buddy Frog that we saw earlier. So it's our first boss fight. Yeah, this game starts off with a boss level. So whenever the frog jumps over to the side, we try to launch up to knock the bombs down. And depending on the timing, you can actually get it so that the bomb hits him right when he lands, which then ends up being a fast cycle. Otherwise, it just takes a couple seconds for it to actually land. Each time, like there's the fast cycle on him. Each time that he comes back, he does do one more tongue launch. So the first time, he does it once, jumps over. Then he does it twice, jumps over. And does it 3 times like you see here, jumps over. And we got a second fast cycle. Looks like that level was a 256. My best on the level is a 254, so that was a very solid frog level. So whenever you defeat a boss here, they turn into a blue ball. So we're going to launch up there, grab it, and now we are a tiny blue frog. Look at that smile. We cycle up. Okay, so that was a solid 3 minutes on that level. And now that the frog is now ours, we are the frog instead of the armadillo, or Sonic, technically. I'm probably going to make so many Sonic jokes. I apologize in advance. So, this is what we call the pod room. This is kind of the hub of hubs. So, there's only one cannon here. It goes to the first world. I think it's like Electric Arboretum. So this is the first world. Like I said, that pod room is a hub of hubs. Each of those cannons launches to a world which is in itself a hub of levels. As you kind of see through here on the cutscenes, it's showing the 3 cannons for each level, but it doesn't show you the boss, interestingly enough. So our first level here is going to be on the tip of my tongue. It is going to be a frog-only level. So, as you'll see later on in the run, most levels are going to be dual animals. You can have up to two animals based on it, depending on the level. This one is one of the few that is just a single one. And it's just because it's not introducing the switching mechanic. Struggling to get a good go there. But 20 seconds going into that cannon isn't bad. We're gonna play the floor is lava here, or try to. Yep. Oh, there we go. Typically going into that cannon, we look for a 16 to 18 second. At least that's what I saw. There is a tiny skip here that I cannot figure out for the life of me. It's basically, you can launch from that circle thing up and get that cannon. I just grabbed the fly. It's only like a 2-second time loss. So, we basically swing through here. The blue cannons will only fire when you press A, whereas like the yellow cannons will launch you whether you're ready or not. And then there's the final end cannon. So on the screen, in the left corner behind the splits, you kind of see 4 metal slots. Each level has technically 5 medals. We'll learn about the 5th medal later on. So the 4 main medals are, you finish the level. The second medal is defeating a specific number of, or a number of specific enemies. So in that one, I think it was, you had to kill 15 flies. The third one is the time trial one, so you have to beat each level in a certain amount of time. And then the 4th one is beating the level without dying. So each level has a specific number of checkpoints, and if you die before the first checkpoint, you still can get that medal. If you die after that first checkpoint, you have to restart the level to get that. The reason I restarted there is because, from what I could tell, it looks like you're not supposed to skip the intro cutscenes. I've also noticed that, I actually noticed with this level in particular, that if I don't skip those intro cutscenes, everything is on a good cycle. So this is going to be the first level here that we are gonna... or that we're going for specific enemy kills. So in the top left corner, as you saw, I killed that slug. It transformed into the 11 slugs. I'm restarting here because it was kind of a sloppy part. I am comparing against my worst splits in this video because some of these early ones, I had the splits going as I was kind of learning the stages, and then eventually I got to the point that I just learned all the final levels and just did a complete run. And it's just to really showcase that it's not really this long of a run. So again, we're going for the slugs in this. We're trying to get all 4 medals here, because it is quicker to get all 4 in this level as well as the next. Now there is a little skip there. It is a very difficult one, in my opinion. You can actually launch up that ramp and tongue the slug and launch down before all of it, before that comes down, so you can actually get it like on a first cycle, so to speak. Haven't quite gotten the right height on it. I've done it a couple times, but yeah, I'm inconsistent at it. So like I mentioned before, so we're down to 4 slugs, which is good. It means we've gotten all the slugs so far. You can always, based on where you enter the tubes, on how many you have, you can tell how many you are missing. So after this next slug, going into the final tube, you should be at 2. Just like that. So going into this, we should be at 2, which we are, because there are only 2 left in this last area. There's the final cannon. It's going to disappear, because we have to kill all the enemies in here. So luckily, you can kind of space it out to get all of it. So as you see there, it got 4 medals, so we are up to 7 medals. Each time you beat a level, you do open up a new area. So we're just gonna go straight down. That blue cannon pod. We never actually go into one of those. And that's because that is just kind of a character customization. As you earn crystals through levels, you can change the color, the glow, as well as your costume. It's all aesthetic. And then you can also travel. It's kind of a fast travel to other worlds. So this is Vagrant Mines. Again, this is another world that we are doing all 4 medals. In this one, we are trying to kill all the hornets. Kind of grab the fly. It's a little quicker to go up this way. Gonna launch over this way, and we are going to swing from hornet to hornet to hornet to hornet. Also, I will say, I think this level has my favorite track. It is such a banger. Didn't mean to do that there, but hey, it worked. So we are down to 6 hornets left, which they are all at the end of the level, so we are golden to go through. So that little chime that you may or may not have caught there, it's every time you get 100 of the blue spheres, you get a crystal, and you can earn up to 4 crystals per stage. So if you collect 400 of them, you'll get all 4 crystals. There are also 4 hidden crystals throughout the stage, so you can get up to 8 crystals per level. So we're gonna zoom up this part. Gonna launch this way. So there's a hidden crystal, and here's where all the hornets are. So we're just gonna kind of tongue all of them. So those actually appear. Their hitboxes appear before they actually appear. So you can actually kind of tongue or launch right there. So again, earn the 4 medals. I'm up to 11, which is good. Excuse me. So now we're going to our boss cannon. So similar to the frog boss, this will be another one. So the bouncer. Any guesses as to what it might be? Spoiler alert. It's a wallaby. So we get a nice little cutscene of him. You can hear him jumping, and up he comes, showcasing his ability. He is the jumper. And again, it's a 3 strikes, all you need to do. So we're gonna kind of hover up here. I don't know why that bomb missed. And I don't know why that bomb hit. So we're gonna come down here, we're gonna kill all the hornets, because that will get the boss to come back faster. So the first phase, you have that small area. The second phase, he extends the area. We already hit him. We're gonna do the hornets again. And as you can kind of see, it's a little deep here. So we're gonna. So we missed there. So here he comes bouncing up. And now the blue spheres is kind of where the track is. Everything kind of falls down for it. And we're gonna come up here, get that bomb. We're just gonna kind of hover up here just for safety. And we can kind of get a couple explosions in the cutscene here. Boss hits the red floor and dies. And red becomes blue. So as you see there, we just tongue it, and now we've got the wallaby. So as you've seen, like these circle things, the frog can tongue it and swing around it. The armadillo launches through it. They turn into platforms based on the arrow direction for the wallaby. So some of it, like in that one, it's a slanted, so you can wall jump up to the final cannon. And just like that, we're going on to the second world here. So near the end of the end of this run, you'll actually see me do a backtrack to that first world for a backup that I no longer do. Because I didn't do my full research into this before just doing a full run, since I kind of was getting caught on time. So this stage, we are only getting 3 medals. Let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, second world is a snow world. First one, Spelunkaby, is mostly going to be featuring the wallaby. We do get a couple of the other animals in here, I believe. We're going to be getting 3 medals in here. It's going to be the finish, time trial, and no deaths. Ideally. So right there, I bounce off the breakable wall, and then I transform into nothing because I'm only the wallaby. That's the sentence I am trying to say, and that actually resets my bouncing trajectory, and so it kind of saves about a second, half second or so. Rapidly jumping up there to get into the tube. So kind of going off of that, transforming to reset my trajectory, that will come in play later on in this level. Once I am Wallaby and Frog. I should also mention too, you probably just noticed that I got a shield. So what that means is you get 2 hits. And if you get hit once, it takes a collection of 20 of the blue spheres to... So, like, right there, I kind of technically lost my shield. So I'm probably going to try to get 20 of those blue spheres to get that second hit back. Because when you only have 1 hit, every level becomes scary, and it is... it's a danger. Because the simplest thing could mean, you know, at this point, it'd be like losing almost 3 minutes. So right here, we're gonna bounce and transform into the frog and back to Wallaby to just continually bounce off those breaking walls instead of bouncing all the way back and all the way to the breaking wall. So right here, we're gonna try to bounce up here. Miss the tube. Those are a damaging pit, so it is a little scary. So we bounce up there. We struggle a little bit. Oh, went too far. So we're supposed to... That's kind of what we're supposed to do the first time. So whenever small mistakes like that, I always get a little anxious on time. However, we did beat it. So we did get our 3 medals. We are good. And it happened to be a gold split too, which is always awesome. So coming up, we're going to have our switcher to the Frog and Wallaby. And right here, I do want to acknowledge that there is a backup medal place thing right at this time. Only takes about 50 seconds, and it's super easy. It's that guy right there. I don't do that in this run because I just assumed in the first world would be the easiest. But nope, of course not. So, ideally you're supposed to break all the way down, like that, and get the Armadillo Kangaroo transformation to get to this cannon. Of course, in the newer run, I'm going to go for that backup because it is an easy single medal. I could technically take an extra 25 seconds in that level and get a second backup medal. It's actually a surprisingly easy one, so it's a really nice backup. So in there, we roll up just to gain speed. Here we transform into the Armadillo to boost under there. A lot of these levels are just very technical. There aren't a lot of glitches in this game. Well, there aren't a lot of applicable glitches in this game. I have glitched this game out quite a bit learning this game in no good way. I have somehow glitched to the point that I went into a final cannon once, but it didn't launch me, and I ended up in the background and dying. But the game thought I beat the level, so the time was frozen and there was no music in the level. It was weird. So we're not going to break the floor there, because there's no reason to. We're going to wall jump off of this switch, and now we're going to roll up the walls to this next cannon. Transform into the Armadillo here, just so we can boost right into the tube. If you are playing this game casually and you're trying to get the all spiders in this level, where I boosted into that tube, there is a spider that descends from the ceiling. So that one is really easy to miss. So now here, we are gonna just wall jump off of everything. Right into the cannon. And there's also the final spider there. I have found out too, if you go too fast on the end screen, you can actually soft lock. So yeah, there is a such thing as too fast in this game. So we're gonna roll up, we're gonna go to the next level, which is Icy Hot Hop, which is gonna be our last level that we get 4 medals in, or that we're supposed to get 4 medals in. If I can get up to the level. Let's try that again. There we go. There's, right above this cannon, there is a breakable wall for another bonus level. However, that bonus level is not accessible until you beat World 4. So, we're going to kill all flies in this level, as well as we're going to try to beat it. I mean, we're obviously going to beat it, but we're going to try to beat it without dying, and we're going to try to beat it in, I think the time limit is 2.5? I'm not actually 100% sure on what the time trial limit is. So it's a pretty straightforward level. just avoiding as much death as possible while killing flies. That's probably going to be the majority of this. Avoid the fireball. Get hit by the fireball. So now that's a little scary just because I only have one hit. However, we are getting the blue spheres back, so there's a found gem. We don't really need them, but because of how the flies are, we're good. Okay, so kill that fly and I got enough of the blue spheres. So right here, there's 2 flies. If you transform right in time, you can do that. So here, we're getting near the end of the level already. You gotta be very careful on this part. Because something like that can happen. So, gotta restart the level. Because I died. And because I died after... I think that's actually like the 4th or 5th checkpoint. I have to start the whole level over. So, that actually just lost me 2 minutes in there. We'll say there are a little control issues. And the controls are a little slippery. And I will... I know I always say I will say. One thing to note, on a technical standpoint, you only need... If you don't need the start menu, you'll only need 2 buttons and a control stick. So I'm playing this on an Afterglow 360 controller. So A and B do the same... If I remember right, it's A, B, and the bumpers all do the same tactic. And then Y, X, and the triggers all do the same. So technically speaking, you could speedrun this one-handed, because all you need is a control stick, then the left trigger and left bumper, because that gives you all the functions, if you don't need the start menu. Which, if you need the start, okay, so that's a third button. But I mean, do you really? I mean, if you're good enough, you probably don't need it. He says as he's used the start menu multiple times. So ideally, I would launch from the fly to the cannon. So just like that, we beat the level. Lost some time on my worst, or comparing worst to best, but still ahead technically speaking. And now we're going to the final boss. Not final boss. The boss of this world. The squash before the crush. Any guesses onto what that could be? Spoiler alert, it's a panda. It's a panda bear. It's a giant panda in the lava. So, there's 2 signals here. It's as soon as he lifts his paw to do that swipe is when you want to knock the bomb down. And then there's a part where he raises both paws. As soon as he raises both is when you want to knock the bomb down, which you'll see right here. So each area has a different part. So yeah, just like that. As soon as he's got it raised up. So just like in that, the first area, it was just the wallaby, then it was wallaby and armadillo, and now we're back to just the wallaby. But instead of having the standard platform, it's now the crooked platform. And I missed my chance on that. That's okay. So he's going to raise both. And I actually missed it on that one as well, which is kind of frustrating. And I died on his claw in the air. So luckily he kind of keeps his patterns the same in each area. I guess I never realized. I just saw it. I actually have Frog in that first area. It's Wallaby and Frog in this first area, but you never really need them. So there I kind of hesitated to jump as soon as you raise his paw because I thought it was going to be too early. And luckily it still kind of worked out for me. So that is a small glitch in this one, is like after you've like gotten to a part in a boss, sometimes it'll it just won't show the picture of what's on there, what's supposed to transform. Luckily the game still will trigger it, and so you'll know. So that's the third and final hit. Now it's going to transform into the Panda, and the Panda's ability is able to climb, as you'll see here. So his ability will come in handy later by climbing walls, climbing ceilings, being able to hang on. He also can ground pound, which will be handy. Oh, look at that smile. So each boss you only get the one medal for beating them. So now we're going to get a little cutscene here, a little power outage. So technically speaking, we have 4 out of the 5 animals. The bird's not happy about it. And he's going to do something about it. So unlike the first 2 times going through here with Frog and Wallaby, where we used to circle things to launch ourselves farther, it's just faster to run as a guy. So we're in the pod room again. As you see, there are 3 cannons. You have the first one, the second one, the third one is this one right here. And in this world, we actually do have our introduction to our first big skip. I will explain that once the time comes. It is after the first world. Or first level, I should say. So this level, again, we're only going to get 3 medals. Fingers crossed. I hope I'm good enough for it. Beating the level, beating it in under, I think it's 2.5 minutes. And then, of course, not dying. Each level, those are the 3 medals that we are aiming to get, for sure. Other levels, we do get that 4th one where it's kill all the enemies, or the 5th medal, which actually will come into play on the next level, actually. So as we're going through here, the little log parts are just break as soon as you touch them. And then you have those breakable rocks which require force. So the circle things for the panda bear are just little bars that he can grab to kind of boost himself, which you'll kind of see right over here as the game tries to figure out what he wants to do. So we ground pound, but we break out of the ground pound as soon as we can to grab the wall to climb over. That way we don't fall all the way down and have to climb all the way up. So right here, normally you would bounce all the way over to get the ground pound the pad to bounce up. You can actually bounce off the wall as the Wallaby and quickly transform to the Panda and grab onto the wall and climb. So now we are the Armadillo and Panda, and we are just going to use Sonic here to boost all the way to the end of the level, maybe? If you notice in the top left corner at any time, there's a timer kind of ticking up. Whenever that appears, that means you've passed a checkpoint in the level. So, we're done there. So now, we are coming up to our first major skip. This actually skips the second level in this world. So, right here, I think I get this for, yeah, got that first try, and I am flying high. So what happens there is, on the exact frame that the panda bear gets lifted up, I'm doing this with my hands, like you guys can see this. As soon as the panda gets lifted up, if you transform to the frog flies because it's got the momentum of the heavy bear. And that flies up to the area, grabbing that part up there, or flying as high as I did, skips the second level, and you can just go into the third level, which is this one here. So in this level, we are getting 4 medals. However, the 4th medal is not killing all of a specific enemy. I mentioned earlier that there are 5 medals in each level, technically. However, the 5th medal is not always accessible. And that's because the 5th medal is what they call the secret switcher. And the secret switcher in each level will depend, whether or not you can get it is going to depend on... I died there. Will depend on whether you have all of the animals. So, in World 1, you're not going to have a secret switcher right away, because you only have Frog and Armadillo. However, as soon as you beat the boss, you could revisit those levels and try to find secret switchers, because you could have the Wallaby in one of those levels, which you wouldn't have previously had. After World 2, you'd have the Panda. Luckily, with this world, the secret switcher is actually kind of makes the a section before the last area a little more difficult, because it's, instead of being the Frog and Panda going through this vertical area, you actually transform into the Frog and Armadillo. So we're going to switch to Panda here to grab this top part so that we can say the Armadillo and kind of fly over this area. However, we are going to transform to Panda and Frog here, and this is where the secret switcher is. You break this, you're going to go down, so you see how it's yellow? That's the secret switcher. It's Frog, Armadillo. So right here is where you would climb up normally. And of course, slippery controls kind of have to restart, unfortunately. That bottom part is over oil. At least I think that's what that's supposed to be. And that is an instant death. So I do apologize for repeating the same level, but having those medals is really important, because I don't want to necessarily have to use a backup on one of these first levels, because there are a couple levels in the last 2 worlds that are excruciatingly difficult for all the medals. And I will say, it's not just me saying that they are difficult. The world record holder has stated, like, one of the levels is really difficult, even when speedrunning. I think his exact words were, it's difficult when you start learning to speedrun this. And I will say, yeah, it is very. So that's what I was trying to do the first time. We come over here, we're gonna grab that little wasp, just so that we can fall down here. So keeping in mind, this part, we're supposed to have the Panda and Frog instead of the Armadillo and Frog. So you can kind of see how it might be a little difficult. On that last wall, as that platform turns, as it goes up the hill and it kind of comes down, it actually turns to come flat. So we are trying to beat it before it becomes flat. Otherwise, it could be an instant death. So we're going to bounce over here, climb up the wall as a bear. And we are coming up near the end of the level. And as you see there in the top left corner, had a time 2:11, 2:12, 2:13, 2:14. So my checkpoint there is a 2:14. So we're going to bounce off of this as the kangaroo there after grabbing it. I don't know why I thought using that was a good idea. So we're going to ground pound, and now we are going to bounce all the way to the end here. Because luckily this game does a good job with physics on the angles. So as you see there, that is the first time that I think we've seen the 5 medals in a row, and it showed that I did get the 4. So if at the end of screen on any level you only see 4 medals, it means the secret switcher is not active yet. Alright, so we're Breaking Bad. So we saw that 4 out of the 5 animals are freed, and we only have the bird left. Oh, there's the bird. It's gonna be the bird. Oh, we're just gonna watch the armadillo get straight up murdered here. So, World 3 boss is actually the armadillo, because we haven't had the armadillo yet, technically. Because we started the game as the armadillo. So, we can't do anything as the frog. So we're trying to come over here so we can be the wallaby. We break the floor, go into the oil. He's going to get stuck upside down. We're going to bounce off of him. Ideally, we wouldn't be stuck over here. If you see where the enemies are in the background, in the far left section where we started, that's actually where we have to go to get here. So we're actually going to break the floor there before the armadillo spawns. That way, when he comes over, he's just going to go right into that oil. So we're going to bounce on him. We're going to come up over here into this area. We're just going to hang onto the ceiling here. So now you're probably wondering, so how do you do this third hit? There's no breakable platforms. Well, not yet. So now that he's back, we're going to bounce our way over onto this platform here, because he's going to demolish this area. So he kicks up a lot of dust, exposing the breakable platform. And we're going to come over here and just bounce on him. And that's how you kill an armadillo that was killed by the bird. And now we're the panda. Sometimes cutscenes don't always make sense. But hey, just like any boss, we get a blue ball. And being that it's rolling back and forth, you can assume that we're going to be the armadillo again. Look at that happy face. And there's the bird. Flying into World 4. Oh, it's going to be a city world, as you can tell there. I am going to go ahead and take this time to mention that This next world is probably the most difficult in terms of getting all of the medals. Specifically, the last level before the boss. I will point that out once we get there. But luckily, because we have some backups routed in, some quick ones now, as I probably mentioned in the intro. It's at least a little safer, but it's gonna be... I will mention that it's... When we get to the last level, it's called High Rise Havoc. When we get there, I will preface a timed jump to, because it was terrible. So there is a small skip in this stage here. We're gonna just fly over to the area and attempt. So ideally, we would launch off of that Hornet onto the side of the train and kind of roll up like that. Get on this wall, and we're supposed to roll up, not down like that. At that point, if I don't get it first try, or at least within like 5 seconds of it, it will be a restart. Just because it is early on in the level, it's not going to be the end of the world. So, like I showed you there, first try, and we're going to launch it into traffic. And that does skip a little bit. I clench every time I get there. So those cars are a little RNG / cycle based. I also am hoping to get some blue spheres here because I did take a hit. So I bounce off that pad to get those blue spheres. We're going to transform into Kanga and the Frog. So because the Kangaroo, or the Wallaby, constantly bounces, I can't actually stay on the train with them. So if I were to actually stay on the train, it's probably a little quicker too. I'd be the Frog, and it'd just be a frog on a train just sitting there. Blue cannons, again, don't fire until you do. Ideally, you would wait until there's a train there and not struggle to get onto the train. Because at the start of each train is a red damage block. And that can actually be very scary. Because if you get hit by that, you bounce forward, but you don't have a whole lot of time to actually, you know, react or get out of the way. So, timing on that was bad. Oh, there we go. Frog on a train. So, I'm not 100% sure what I got hit by there. I think it was the Wasp actually, or the Hornet actually launching one of his projectiles that just was like right on top of me. So we're going to swing all the way to the end here. And so again, you see the 5 switchers there. So that means there was a secret switcher in that level. I'm not 100% sure where it's at, to be completely honest. I also say that this game does not have a lot of guides. So I did struggle with like routing some extra backups. I actually had to do some exploration of my own. Frog on an elevator. Armadillo on an elevator. So we're gonna bounce up here to the next level, Rush Hour Romp. So I will say there is a technical backup in this one, because the secret switcher is like right near the beginning. However, it is slow because it does transform you into, I believe, the bear and frog. I know the panda is one of them, and because of that, you do lose the ability to launch forward like that as the kangaroo and frog. So if we do go for it, it's gonna be because all my other options are exhausted. Same with that. Same with the backup I'm gonna be doing at the end here to get, I think, my 50th medal. Spoiler alert, I do have to go and backtrack to do a backup medal. I'm not 100% sure what I'm thinking here, or what I'm doing. So again, these yellow platforms move quickly, or they in a direction. You can tell by the arrows. And climb up here, and we're gonna fall. We're not gonna ground pound, because ground pounding would put me onto a red death spot, which is not a healthy spot to be. I am so glad for hit ranges like that, because I was certain that was death. So now we're the panda and the frog. We're gonna swing to get our ground pound height while avoiding death. Now we're back to our starting duo. And we are gonna fly over traffic. If I'm not mistaken, I think I do repeat this level because I missed the time by, I think, a couple seconds. Which sucks, but what can you do? I don't know what exactly happened there. So I'm trying to grab onto that pole, or the gears there. Like that. And I didn't want to do that. I don't know why I transformed there. That's probably where it cost me the time. So, there's that last traffic area. We're going to climb up here. Get into the final cannon. Again, you see the 5 switchers there. I did miss the time, so you can jump ahead about 2-3 minutes. 2.5 minutes. As I repeat this level, there's not going to be really any commentary at this point because it's kind of all been said. On this, I will say, at least you get to kind of hear the banger of a track again, because that was embarrassing. You get to hear the banger of a track because, honestly, I don't think there's any bad music in Mekazoo. I think every track is a hidden gem. The artist of, the composer is the band called The Quiggles. Highly recommend checking them out. They do have the Mekazoo soundtrack available. And it does have a couple tracks on there that aren't in-game, because they are remixes. They are, I believe, I want to say, the Vagrant Minds theme, and there's another track. There's 2 or 3 tracks that use the Genesis, like the Sega Genesis, chipset. And so it's just a remix of those kind of into that 16-bit sound. I died there, however, because I did already get the no death medal, I can just start again right from here, so the death isn't such a huge time loss. I will say, I think it's a lot of this kind of flubbing around is kind of runner's nervousness. Just kind of in that this is my first recorded run of this. It's like my third overall run, or second overall run, something like that. I just wish I had more time. Don't know what happened there. Gotta love these glitches. Yep, there's that death. Because I did so much hesitation on that. I don't even know what that was. Apparently just wanted an extra death in there. But anyway, as I was saying, I kind of wish I had more time or given myself more time to properly like learn all of Mekazoo before making a post-commentary track and recorded video submission. So I first recorded this as a submission video for Fall Speedball 2020. I kind of took on the task of, yeah, I'm going to learn this, and we are going to get this recorded, and it's going to be great. And then I started learning. It's like, okay, yeah, no, I got this. It's going to be a little bit grind. Okay, I got this. And then I got through worlds 1 through 3. I'm like, I'm in a good spot. I kind of, you know what? This is going to be good. I don't know what that little glitch there was. Right between. Yeah, recording this as a submission video for Fall Speedball 2020. Kind of wish I had a little more time. It just ended up being in kind of a bad time area for me, or bad timing just for me, because work started getting a lot more hectic, and I don't know what's going on in this world anymore. Found a secret cannon. That's one of the levels. So that was a little bit of a time loss, just trying to go through there. I was trying to figure out where exactly I was. I think I was trying to get my bearings. But yeah, it's just running out of time, running out of steam, and getting like heavy burnout through work, you know. It gets tough. But it's like, what can you do? Okay, so here is High-Rise Havoc. Again, I restarted the level because I was supposed to let the cutscenes play out. I don't know if I've actually been letting the cutscenes play out in this. Technically, I think I'm supposed to, because I don't think I don't see the world record doing it. I could be wrong on that. So I'll go ahead and say this right now. We're gonna be seeing a lot of this level. I deleted, so in my splits, I deleted this time because I only had one time on this world, and it was like a 4.5 minute time, and I'm like, I must have gotten things on first try or something in a run, like an offline run, and I'm like, this is not good, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to stand up to this at this time. Anyway, before I go too far, if after you see this level and you don't want to see me continually trying to get one or two of the medals, you can go ahead and jump ahead to 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 40 seconds. So that way you don't have to see this level for the next 10 and a half minutes. So I'm playing it safe there because I don't want to get hit by any of the Hornet's stingers, which probably cost me a little bit of time. So now we're a frog on an elevator. It's an auto-scroller, there's nothing we can do about it. Until the very end, then we grab the circle thing and we're gonna come up here. Launch down here. I try to avoid that bomb there because that can actually hinder time-wise. Also, for whatever reason, this part on my computer lags a little bit, so I drop inputs. And I switched there and dropped because I thought I had tongued the circle, or I was gonna be high enough. I was not. So we're gonna be Armadillo and Frog. We're gonna launch up. We're gonna now climb a tower as Armadillo and Frog. Quickly changing here. We're constantly rotating everything. So we're gonna come up here. Go through the tube. This is gonna be up to the final checkpoint, so we are almost near the end of the level. I'm sitting at a 246 currently, which is scary because the time to beat on this stage is 3 minutes. Which, right there, I think is what killed the run. Or killed this stage, and I don't know why I restarted there. So yeah, you've seen the entire level. If you want to skip ahead to 109.40, it's gonna be this for the next 8 minutes. It's not a whole lot else to say. There is a small skip you can do at the end of the level. I don't 100% understand it. I'm restarting there because the time that I got at that first checkpoint was not good. Ideally, it should be like 19, 20 seconds, but I think I got like 26 or something like that. There is a small, like I was saying, there's a small skip at the end that you can do where you grab as the bear. It's like, yes, a bear, you grab one of the flies or the hornets and kill it, ground pound onto the mushroom, and you launch up or transform into the armadillo, and you're able to launch up and kind of save like 4 seconds. I'm not 100% sure how that happens. I'm not seeing anything special like in the world record video. Actually, I think right there I was saved. I was helped by those flying bombs. Also, you can kind of see some interesting little adverts in the background. There's a Who's Your Pokemon kind of deal. There was the Jurassic Park with the kangaroo as the T-Rex. Yeah, this is a level that is very difficult to get that time on. that time limit. You can land in this elevator, like, dead center, so that way you don't have to constantly move. However, I haven't been able to do it consistently. And I thought I had it on that first part, but I wasn't I was like, I can't risk this. So we're gonna fly up, we're gonna hit that bomb. And now I'm gonna just kind of tongue it to kill it. That part, I don't know why it went to the bottom one instead of the top. I don't know what its priorities are. That was a tight squeeze. I could have died there. And I died there. I think I actually face planted on my desk at that time, which is why there was like that couple second hesitation. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take this time to plug a couple things. Let's see here. Let me double check a couple things. If you're watching this when it first came out, you should check out Fall Speedball 2020. I want to see where the exact dates are. This is going to take place November 20th through 22nd. So that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want to say that's the weekend before Thanksgiving in the US. It is an online event, so it is going to be all streamed right over on twitch.tv/MidwestSpeedFest. Let's see here. There is also the Fastest Furs Fall Festival. I'm not actually a part of it. I just think they're really cool, and one day I will be a part of them. One day I will actually submit something to their marathon. Their festival is actually November 12th through the 15th. So that's actually, I believe, a Thursday through Sunday. And that will be over on twitch.tv/FastestFurs. That's FASTESTFURS. On twitch.tv/MidwestSpeedFest, that's MIDWEST SPEEDFEST. Should note that there is no Fall Speedball Twitch page. It's all through Midwest Speedfest. Should definitely check out the website, gotobedgooby.com. Trying to think of what else I can plug here. There's a Discord for the Fastest Furs and Midwest Speedfest as well, which is where a lot of our dates are posted and announced and everything. So I believe those are all linked on their respective Twitch pages, so definitely check those out. Also check out their Twitters. It's the same thing. Mekazoo is not my only speedrun. My main game is Jazz Punk, which is probably where a lot of people know me from, my Jazz Punk runs. I've actually done so many runs of Jazz Punk at Midwest Speed Fest, it actually kind of slowly became a staple. Then eventually got to the point that we had too many Jazz Punks, not enough time for them, so it was like, how many more categories or things could you do with it? So it's like, let's move on. So we did, and honestly, I think Jazz Punk kind of cemented my position as the weird game runner in our Midwest Speed Fest. So after that, I ran You Are Not a Banana, which is a very philosophical game about what makes a game, or are video games art. Highly recommend checking that out. After that, I did a run of Pizzezzle, which it's a prototype game that the creator made. It's just 21 puzzles, short little game. I think that's enough plugging. So now we're on the bird boss. So this is probably the most elaborate boss in that, yeah, to avoid the red. In that you can't hurt the boss in this part as you're climbing the tower, but it can hurt you. So we get to this part right here, and there's 4 sides, each one with a bomb. You just have to hit the bird 3 times with the bombs. But each one is on a different stage level. So I went too early on that one. I went way too late on that one. So now we got the bird here. He kind of cycles around. Ideally, I could be able to hit him while he's down like that. Yeah, I was playing too high at the top there. Played too much at the top there, unfortunately, so I'm going through a second cycle here. Since the bird is red, it does damage you. Which you may not remember, but that was also the case with all the other bosses. So we're gonna come up here, we're gonna collect some of the blue spheres, hopefully not get hit. We're gonna try this again. Luckily, so the first phase is the trickiest, in my opinion, because you have the wallaby and the bear. In the last 2 phases, you've got the armadillo, which, in the circle things, you can just chill. As long as you hang onto the button, onto A for the circle things, you can just chill in there. You just gotta make sure that there's no enemy gonna hit you with it. So we're just kind of chilling here. There we go. So now we're gonna climb over to the other side into the cannon, and this is where we're gonna go through a tunnel here. It does have blue spheres, so it does, if you do only have 1 hit left, it does regenerate that second hit. So now we are the kangaroo and armadillo. Gold statue with bird. Unfortunately, got hit there. I'm not 100% sure what the tactic there is. But yeah, like I said, you just chill. There are a couple visual cues for this. I believe it's once you see the bird launch for its attack, that's when you go. That's my thought process. Those are words. And now we're gonna be Armadillo and Frog. So we just kind of fly over them, launch up into the cannon here. Like I said, you want to make sure there's no enemies around you. So once he comes to attack, we hit him, and now we get our cutscene. The bird's like, "Nope, I'm done. We're not playing by your rules anymore. We're gonna nosedive into the armadillo again. Get out of the way," and it goes right into lava. You would think these enemies, like the bosses, would just not have the lava. Nope. So then we tongue it, and now we're the bird. And so now we're kind of seeing this eyeball, kind of looking around, and he looks at us and flies there, and now we're in the hub, and now we are the bird. So the last cannon is actually in the air here for World 5. So Primal Plexus, there's a couple difficult levels. Nothing to the extreme of World 4, though, which is weird to say. So this first world here, the first level, Mothball Mayhem, there is a backup switcher, which I do get. It's near the end of the level. It's not out of the way at all. It costs like 2 or 3 seconds. If done right. Could take a couple more. So the bird, while he can fly, he cannot break like solid blocks like this. So we actually have to use bombs to break them. We're gonna twirl through the tube. Right here. We're gonna die on that block. I believe we're gonna... Oh no, we're just gonna assume that I'm gonna get the time. So we're going for the backup. So the fast route here is to go through here. And now I'm kind of taking this cautiously. It's probably going to cost me the time medal. And now we're Armadillo. We're going to use Armadillo to break blocks. And instead of having the bombs break that, we're just going to do it. So now comes the fun part of we gotta get our butts in gear. Because there are red death blocks just falling above us. So we're gonna come in here, kill all the enemies so that we can escape. And now we are the bird and bear because we're gonna use that bomb. We're gonna just chill up here. Like that. So the secret switcher is coming up here. It's right there. You can see it. So ideally we would do that. So now we're bird and kangaroo. So we got the secret switcher. We're gonna fly up here. We're almost at the end of the level. Gonna kind of go through this Flappy Bird-esque thing where you're going up and down. So we are gonna ground pound as the Wallaby. We're gonna kind of... I tried doing the switcheroo and all that. Apparently if you ground pound, you're invulnerable. So you only need to get 3 medals in that level to come out even. I did, thankfully. Had I not died, I would still probably go for that backup just so that I have that extra. I actually do need 1 medal still, so I am technically a medal short right now. I am only at 43 instead of the 44 needed. So there is one small skip in this stage. I'm trying to think how far in it is. I like that the Armadillo is just chilling on top of a bomb, because that's what you do. So, ideally there, again, because I passed the first checkpoint, it's only a 20-second loss. Ideally there, what would happen is I would fly as the bird, transform into the Armadillo, and break the blocks. And then I can stay as the bird and Armadillo instead of going all the way down, transforming into the bear, and then being the bear for the next parts. Which is technically how you're supposed to do it. Developer intended. I don't know how, whatever the words are. So you can probably see why my worst time on this is 14.5 minutes. I can assure you it is not going to take 14.5 minutes. Or it might if I keep screwing up like that. Again, keep dying there. So, I will say the good thing about this stage is that it is a 4-minute time limit for the time trial. And most of the time, doing a no-death run on this, it's a really easy medal to get, the time trial one. You can beat this level in under 3 minutes. I think usually I get it about 2 3/4 minutes. So that's what I'm supposed to do there. So now I am Bird and Armadillo, which at this point right here, I'm supposed to be the bear. I'm just supposed to be the bear. But I'm not. So luckily, it doesn't soft lock you or anything. It just gives you some interesting parts. We're going to skip over the kangaroo one here, too, so we can continue to stay the Bird and Armadillo. Because the Bird and Armadillo team is kind of OP. Not going to lie. We're going to fly through the mainframe. Not... Okay, fly into that. So coming up here, there is a... glitch skip there. Which we will see in the next part. If you want to skip ahead, I don't know how far this goes. I guess it's another 5 minutes or so. Yeah, if you want to skip ahead, it's about, say, 127, 127.50. Probably a good place to skip to. I will say, looking at kind of the notes I've written just to make sure that I cover what needs to be covered, explaining things that were found and stuff, and judging by the time on this recording, I think this is actually the last run that actually does everything. Maybe not. Maybe. Ideally, you'd be in that cannon at 20 seconds, if not quicker. Well, while we're waiting, let's see if there's any other plugs I can do. There is a Powerhouse Haunted House 2020, which is going to be a horror game themed marathon running November 13th through the 15th. Let's see. Distant Star Cares 5 is running November 6th through November 8th. Oh, I just totally skipped over the glitch there. I was so busy trying to plug different marathons. So you can clip through the wall without having to actually bomb the 2 floors. Saves about, I'd say probably about 10 seconds. I don't know the actual timing. I'm playing it very safe here because I believe I only have 1 hit currently. So we get into the tube there. That is the last checkpoint. We are coming up near the end of the level. I believe that's the last checkpoint. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, no, that should be the last checkpoint. Because the end of the level is very soon here. It's actually right up there. So as you saw at my last checkpoint, I was only at 2.5 minutes. So we use this bomb to blow this up as I get my second hit back. Again, I don't know where the secret switcher is in this stage. It's probably in the open elsewhere. This next stage, it's called Familiar Faces. You guys want to take a guess as what it's gonna be? That's right. It's a boss rush. It's a mini boss. It's a boss rush. So we're gonna be doing all of those. So if you remember how the bosses worked throughout the other worlds, it's gonna be the same here. Just you might have a different character to start. Also, if you remember, about an hour and a half ago, we played the frog boss stage, the very first stage. And I said, keep an eye on this level. That's right. Your Familiar Faces is actually going through that very first stage, just with minor altercations. So here in the first world going to the boss, we would scroll or zoom all the way up there. Instead, we're going down a broken path. And so our first boss is going to be the kangaroo, but we're the bear this time instead of the frog and armadillo. So we go through the second tube here. after beating the boss, we're going to get our second pair. So, if you notice, like, that very first pair was Kangaroo and Bear, and the boss was the Kangaroo and you fought as the Bear. Since we're still the Bear and Armadillo, probably not going to be the Bear for an Armadillo fight. So you could probably guess that this next fight is actually going to be the Bear being the Armadillo. There is actually a small glitch here that you can do. I've done it a couple times. I kind of understand how it works. Saves absolutely no time. It's just... It kind of sets up what I call the vibe glitch. It's where you just kind of vibe with the universe. So right here, we're going to bounce off that enemy to gain enough height to break the floor. Right down below here is where the secret switcher is. So apparently I think I'm good enough that I don't need it. Spoiler alert, I am not. So yeah, we're Armadillo and Kangaroo. Well, we already fought the Kangaroo boss, so we've got to do Armadillo. So it's only logical. Luckily, with each boss, it is only one hit, and then he can move on. So now we've done Armadillo, Kangaroo, and Panda. And those were the only 3 animals that we've actually been so far. Yeah, you can see the secret switcher there, so you can kind of see that this level is all kind of circling around itself. So yeah, we're going to be the bird and the frog, which means we are going to be fighting the frog as the bird and fighting the bird as the frog. So not 100% sure what kind of tracking that was. But I've got through there. This place should look familiar. Keep in mind, also, do not press anything once you land over here, because you can fly as the bird. However, the level doesn't fully load sometimes, and you can end up in the background. I have done that. And it sucks, because there is no way to actually die back there. So you have to restart the entire level. So with like the bird fight before, just kind of want to hover around here. And hey, we got the bird. So the eyeball goes down. It's like, hey, what are you doing? So as you see there, I just passed a checkpoint. I got a 4:03. The time limit for this stage is 4 minutes. So if you want to go ahead and skip to cutscene. So you can see that eye is now kind of down below. Oh, he's looking at us. He's just like, don't do it, boy. So he flies into there, which, you know, is now over there. I'm actually going to go in and do the boss fights again. You get that secret switcher. And maybe try to beat it with time. So that secret switcher, all it is it changes Kangaroo to Bear. So you fight the Armadillo as the Bear instead of the Kangaroo. If you want to skip to 155:45, that way you don't have to see this again. Let's see, what other marathons can I plug? So, yeah, we did mid-fall speedball, fastest furs, distant star cares. You know what? Let's shout out some people from Midwest Speed Fest. Why not? I already shouted out Gooby's website, gotobedgooby.com. I also shout out to Gooby. He is one of the main organizers of Midwest Speed Fest. Awesome guy, very friendly. Send him some love. There's Rocket. He does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, like getting all the restreams, getting everything, make sure everything's kind of running smoothly. He does a lot of that work on the in-person marathons when we used to have those. You guys remember in-person marathons? Those were fun. Other people to shout out here, Helix. They're amazing. Super friendly, very chill. He's a Super Monkey Ball 2, or he's a Super Monkey Ball speedrunner. I guess I should also mention Gooby runs a lot of games as well. So here's the secret switcher there. Like I said, it's just bear and armadillo. We can use the bear to grab on the gear and tweak out. Trying to think who else. Yeah, there's a lot. So Midwest Speed Fest is, I guess, is the name of the collective, but is also the name of our summer marathon, which is usually with VGM Con. Sometimes I don't understand this game. So Fall Speedball is an online marathon that we do. It's our fall marathon at the end. Then we usually do Midwinter Speed Sprinter with... No, I'm sorry. Back up. Midwest Speed Fest is our summer marathon with 2D Con. And then Midwinter Speed Sprinter is typically an on-site marathon with VGM Con. There we go. In between marathons, we also do runner spotlights so that they can talk more about the game that they're running or the games that they run. Or when I had my runner spotlight, we were dog sitting, and I kept having a dog interrupt me because he just loves sitting on my lap. So I highly recommend checking out. We do those announcements in the Discord. If I remember right... Okay, never mind. I was about to say, there is a glitch there. Oh, you know what? I think I remember the glitch now. Once you get to this point, do not die. Because it does cost time. I launched the bomb all the way over, and it's just like, what? And then I died. So the checkpoint is at the frog boss. And now you're probably wondering, why shouldn't you die? Well, one, the frog does 3 tongues instead of 1 before jumping over here. Should never die because this green platform is here. I am stuck out of bounds technically. I cannot get down. I cannot get back up. And I'm not 100% sure why the trigger's like that. So like I said, you can jump ahead to 144. if you don't want to see this again. So unfortunately, at that point, you have to restart, which does cost about 4 minutes. It sucks. I'm gonna go ahead and let this just play out. I'm gonna give my voice a little rest. I guess, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I guess I can explain a little bit more in the game. Guess I don't know what else to explain, because after this is technically supposed to be the final boss, which is another kind of boss rush-esque thing, what not really. The final boss takes 5 hits instead of 3. And it does have some interesting mechanics to it, which you only see in that final boss. But we'll cover that when we get there. But after this, so I'm at 48 medals right now, and you need 50 to get to that last boss. So, like I said, ideally, if you get the time limit on every one and you don't die, that's already 3 medals per stage. Well, 3 times 5, or 3 times 3 is 9, times 5 is 45. And then minus 3 makes 42 because you skip a level in World 3. So you're at 42 medals of the 50. And then you get a medal for the Kangaroo boss, so that's 43. Panda boss, 44. Armadillo boss, 45. And Bird boss, 46. So that leaves 4 medals that you still need, which is where the 2 levels in the first world getting the enemies comes into play. So that brings us to 47, 48. Icy Hot Hop in the second world brings us the third one. And then the Secret Switcher in the third world on Moonlight Mayhem. Also, I don't know why that worked there. Brings us to the 50. However, there are the backups. So there's a backup in... Technically, there's a backup in every world, right? Once you've unlocked all the bosses, and once you've beat all the bosses, except for the final world, so after World 4, you technically can go back and get a Secret Switcher in any level, as long as you know where it's at and how to get to it. So there's a couple Secret Switchers that I know about. I know where they're at. I just don't know how time-worthy they are as backups. Rush Hour Romp, there's one, but it's so slow because it does transform you from Wallaby and Frog to Panda and Frog, I think. Yeah, there's other Secret Switchers. Actually, I think in the very first level, the Secret Switcher is right before the bomb to the leaves. It's actually hiding in the trees. I am tonguing the bomb too early. So that time I actually got the bird on that cycle. Fortunately, I didn't get it early enough to actually get the time limit on this one. But I got the Secret Switcher, so that does add an extra one there. I don't know what my actual time was on this. Yeah, it's 25 seconds over, so that was worse than the previous run. However, because the last time I did this, Yeah, see, now I'm trying to think of where do I go from here. In hindsight, I was like, okay, I'm going to come over here, get the bird. We're going to fly. We fly up this way. We fly all the way back to the beginning. What I didn't realize was if I went through that tube, there's a pod cannon right above it. So having to do this versus doing that, I could have saved so much time. And in second hindsight, I don't know what that hesitation was there. Second hindsight, I should have just gone to the blue sphere and transported to a level. I don't know why I went backwards there. You always go forward. I don't know why there's also a timer here. So, this is where it's going to go to the first world. It's going to be the backup. It's called Patience, Hurry. You can technically get 2 medals with it, but the second medal is insanely difficult because you have to beat that bonus level in under 30 seconds. I don't know what my fastest time is because the game glitches and doesn't actually show a final time. And I don't really do this backup anymore. Now that I know about the easier one in the second world, as well as a couple other ones. So, there's not much to say about this one, except that that was a dumb move there. Except that, yeah, it's basically it's all flying. If you want to skip to 155.45, like I said, as you see, like the time on this video right now is a 146.44 or something like that. I'm telling you to skip to 55.45. This goes to show how long I'm actually on this. So I don't know why I transformed a frog there and circled around. I don't know why I swung up there. There's just a lot of depth in this stage. I put a lot of time into this, practicing this. And now that I know my other backup is a lot better and safer, I'm just like... And especially because on that one, too, it costs maybe... maybe a minute and a half to get 2 extra medals, versus this one where I only get 1. It just kind of makes more sense to me. Yeah, it's just kind of swinging through the jungle, climbing the tree. I mean, the end of the level's right up above this tree. So... yeah, at that point I should have tried to tongue the other circle thing. And the reason why I'm also including this in the last split is because I'm supposed to have 50 medals at the end of that. So, technically speaking, there are some backups where... I don't know where the tongue was trying to aim for there. Some of my worst splits are technically inaccurate. Same with my, I guess, what will be the best time. And technically speaking, my PB has some inaccuracies, so I mean, the only things that are gonna be accurate is basically the final time. There's a few stages where it's gonna be accurate. Going from the first stage, or from the frog boss to that, yeah, like all those are gonna be inaccurate. I went too early there. There is a small little glitch you can do in this level, or a skip, I should say, and it's where it's a frame perfect. I don't know what I was thinking there. But yeah, there's like a frame perfect thing. You hit the red thing just right, and it can actually launch you flying. Also, I don't think this game was intended to have you play like this. Because as you can tell, there's no soundtrack right now. Give it a couple seconds here, it'll boot up again. Be like, the game's just trying to think. It's like, wait a minute. There's supposed to be music here, right? I will say, this is actually kind of... I kind of don't like this without music. There's the music again. So yeah, as you can see, why I don't do this anymore. Because it's actually probably would have been faster to go to one of the first levels and get the secret switcher. Actually, I can tell you, it would have been faster to get the secret switchers. I don't know what just happened there. I guess I'll also point out that the world record is a 102.05, and I'm sitting at 152.06 right now, so compared to world record, I am almost an hour behind. I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh well. I suppose it's always nice to know where, or how much improvement and how much space I have to grow on this. So had I timed that one probably about 3 frames later, I probably could have gotten launched. Sometimes physics kind of works against you. So, I was probably just a frame late on that. But as you kind of saw, I kind of got a small boost from the red, ended up just getting boosted back onto it and dying, but oh, Almost there. Come on. Come on, Pastel, sir. You got this. Nope, he does not have this. You got this. But yeah. Now, at this point, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. That's the issue. I wasn't. Thinking that this was a good backup. I mean, I guess in my mind was that I've done this, like, as soon as I, like, go into practice mode, quote-unquote, I can do this stage, you know, first try. First, second, third try. Which, at that point, you know, 3 tries in and you get it. That's only... I glitched up the game. At that point, you know, if you go 3 tries on the stage, you're looking at maybe not even 2 minutes. Maybe 2 minutes, which... I guess the only thing I could think of is maybe the first stage secret switcher would be faster in this world. And there you go. You beat this level finally. And so we just skip it. Save a bit of time. And now we gotta go all the way back over here. Get to the pod room. Fly through the air. We gotta go back to Primal Plexus and go all the way back down. And that's why I've kind of routed in backups to start. So, like, that's the one right after Spelunkaby, which you don't see in this run, that I've discovered, but that I've kind of tested between the time of recording this video and the time of recording this audio track, this post-commentary, I have found is a lot better. That one, definitely going to be doing just in runs in general until I'm confident enough to... not need it, which the biggest offenders right now are High-Rise Havoc. That's the last level in World 4. As well as Mothball Mayhem. Well, I take that back. Mothball Mayhem already has a built-in backup into itself. The familiar face is the boss rush. If I can do that without the secret switcher, great. Otherwise, I kind of have that built in, but it's really High-Rise Havoc. So, here's Heart of the Zoo. Which is the final boss. So he's going to come in, he's going to throw, and he's going to be like, Armadillo! Spin, spin, spin. Nope, just kidding. We're going to be the Wallaby, and jump, and there we go. So like I said, it's going to be kind of a boss rush. So in this boss stage, what you're trying to do is open up platforms, those areas where you see the green. They're covered in each area. And so you're trying to open it up and then hit the switch right when he's about to, right when the boss is about to land on it. Or go through it, so that way he gets hit and then you hit the eye. So the bird's gonna fly over that, and we're gonna hit that. It flies through that. Unfortunately, messed up there, but luckily he just repeats his cycle. So that way we can just go back here. He's gonna land, and he kind of curves that up. I ended up getting hit there. That's awkward. And I keep landing on the slants there. So then I can't really bounce. So now I'm the... I'm Frog and Armadillo fighting Panda. He's gonna come down like he usually does. We just kind of bounce on the side there. So luckily with that Panda swipe, we can just call it good. Now we're Bird and Panda. Bird and Wallaby, sorry. Fighting Panda. Again? No, just kidding, it's a frog. Now you think the frog's gonna hop over, but no, he's gonna switch it and become the panda. And then he kills me, but I hit him. So now we gotta start the fight over. Luckily, as the bear, it is a... I actually timed that too early. As a bear, you can actually, in the corners, just hang on that first part. Armadillo will always go to the right. As soon as the bird spawns in the back, whatever one you're on is the one he's gonna go for. So you can kind of bait him that way. Again, that switcher, same issue. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was too late on that. Ended up hurting myself. Don't know what. Oh, and I got hit by the kangaroo. Not sure how I got the enemies to despawn almost instantly there. I don't think it actually saved like any time. And it looks like the game thought they were still there, except in a way that I didn't see them or could interact with them. It's also weird thinking that the tongue does damage to the boss, because it just doesn't have that oomph of any of the other hits. But hey, I'm not gonna judge. Back to Panda, he's gonna crush. Got that last hit. For a second there, I lost my position. I could not see where I was. And of course I died. I would say skip ahead, but at this point, we're in the last boss. I will say my final time is a 2:07, so we got about 2.5 minutes here left of the run as well. Just gonna chill down here. So like I said, Armadillo always goes right. Missed my chance. There we go. Luckily, this boss makes it easy to get second shots. I missed my shot at the eye again. But we'll make it quick to get him back. So we're gonna wait. Bear. Accidentally hurt myself. Hit the eye. We are gonna try to get those, and we are. So you think he's gonna hop over, but he's bird. Comes bird, flies through, and I think on the next one, he flies through, transforms into frog, and lands on the side that he didn't come in. And time is on start of cutscene, so there's time. I apologize for the disaster of this run. We're gonna get a nice little final cutscene here. And like I mentioned, I've got so many more backups, faster backups, more consistent backups. So I don't have to worry about that first backup in the first world. This run will easily be under 2 hours. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna let you listen to this credits music just a little bit, and then I will get a little bit more information at the end. Look at the little scuttlebug football place it's happening. I think that's what's supposed to be happening. So the game's not over yet. We still got this little thing. We have to fly into the cannon. And Heart of the Zoo. So, I kind of lied at the start. It's not a 50 medal run, it's a 51 medal run, but the 51st medal doesn't technically go into account for the timing. So, now, even though it kind of exploded, all the pieces are going to come back together. You see the title, once again, Mekazoo. It all comes back together. And now we can play through the game again. We can unlock all that stuff, all that fun stuff. Collect all the skins, collect all the gems, you know. There's still a lot more in this. Yeah, thanks for watching. Really hoping this gets in. I know I'm not the best runner at this. Just learned this in the last month or so. It is a tough game. I think it still falls under the weird game category that I am known for. Plus that soundtrack is such a banger. But thanks for watching.